And Colleen, you can allow our guests to come in.
Okay, awesome. Here we go.
Excellent. We are now live. We always have a few technical issues that happen, but thank you very much for coming this evening. This evening, we are following up on the Faith, Hope, and Love Summit, the fourth annual one that we just had last month. And we have 11 amazing speakers here for you. We view everything in a holistic manner. And in that manner, there are so many different ways in order to accomplish and get where you need to get, because that's where your alignment is. So we're going to ask you to relax, take some notes if you want, sit, breathe for a moment, and start to feel if what somebody is saying, it really resonates with you. And that way you'll know there's some information that right now you've been searching for, even though you may not know you've been searching for it. And that's how it works. So I am going to have our speakers introduce themselves. So I am going to ask one by one, as my panel is here, to give their name, let you know what their field is, and then we're going to go from there. And there's no alphabetical order. It's just how I see everybody on the screen. If you have a question, you are more than free to put it in the chat. For us here, when you're on YouTube, please go ahead and put it over in the comments. Colleen will be monitoring that. Gaby will be watching our chat here. So we are going to do our very best not to lose any of you. All right. So, Colleen, please introduce yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Excuse me, everyone. I'm getting a little bit over a cold. My name is Colleen Burrell, and I'm a digital media manager. I help natural health practitioners, luxury wellness brands, and heart-centered leaders to elevate their digital presence with intention, purpose, and ease. And I do this through mindful marketing strategies as well as custom assets.
Well, that's fantastic because we know that a digital presence is very necessary now, but sometimes we can get overwhelmed by all of it. And so we can't wait to hear what you have to offer to our audience to start to understand how to get moving in this area. But before we go to the next speaker, Colleen, do you have something coming up in the next 3 months?
I have been working on curating a program, so it is not quite ready, but keep your eyes peeled in the coming months.
Thank you very much. We will definitely do that. Chris, hello.
Hello, great to be with everyone. My name's Chris Haase, founder of Clarity Silicon Valley, and I coach senior and mid-level leaders to achieve more pay, more power, and more promotions by helping them do two things. The first of which is to harness the power of their executive brand, which is about combining both their value brand, which is about defining their business value, and their leadership brand, which is about how they shape and lead and influence the culture. And two is to optimize role performance. And this is about helping them ensure that the brand story that they're telling within their company and also externally aligns with their actual impact that they're making in the business. So those are the two areas I focus on.
Well, that's pretty fantastic because it is important to get very clear on what your brand is so people understand who you are, right? And so I love that clarity, Silicon Valley. And so we are definitely, I know about some of the charts that you had in the summit. And so we can't wait to hear a little bit more about that. So it is about executive leadership, understanding, and a higher position if that's what you want, or a stronger leader.
Mhm.
So we can't wait. Thank you very much, Chris. And Roger.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here. And hello, everybody. I'm Roger Hawkins. I'm I'm a wellness educator and coach for seniors, and I I help seniors recreate the energy that they've thought that they've missed. And creating more energy is something, vitality is something that is at the basis of their wellness. And we do this with through lifestyle changes like sleep and nutrition and exercise, as well as mindfulness, and as well as developing a growth mindset. So those are all three components that are necessary for real vitality to take place.
Well, that is so true. And also, Roger, isn't it true that with seniors, um, they need to get over a hump that is all about feeling that they're too old or it's too late,
hmm
right?
Or feeling that they're not too old or too late, right?
No, but they're first stuck.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
can't wait to hear how you kind of help them get unstuck in that mindset. Thank you very much. Liz, hi there. Oh, you
I
muted.
did the thing you asked me not to do. I'm sorry, Karina, I muted myself. So hi, I'm Liz O'Hara, and I'm integrative energy specialist.
Uh-oh.
And yeah, I'm sorry, I won't touch it. Spiritual business owners and entrepreneurs come to me to help them overcome health conditions, particularly chronic health conditions, because most of them find that consistent health is critical to their success and quality of life, and also in serving their clients and the people they serve. Um, and that is the main aspect of what I'll be talking about and focusing on today. I have some other um, irons in the fire, but that's my main my main focus for our time together and from the summit.
Oh, thank you. And it is for you about blending energy work with the medical field at the same time to understand
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be one or the other,
Yeah, for
correct?
sure.
And
For
I'm going to
sure.
go a little back because I did forget to ask and I apologize. But before I do, Liz, do you have something coming up?
So you gave me 3 months, which is great because I am starting a new YouTube channel. It's called Little Light Healing. It's a place to go to find those small things that you might be able to do, or any questions that you might have about energy healing. Um, if you're entering into it or between sessions, that's going to be the theme. That's one thing. And then, Karina, I don't know if you remember this, but a few years ago, I created a specialized image for you.
Mhm.
That's my other iron in the fire, is my visual art that I've paired to record the healing work that I do as vibrational pieces that
Right.
a have had medical benefit for several people, many people. Um, so I also have the new product line along that. That's
Oh,
coming out.
excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so I apologize, but I must go back to Roger. And I am saying in the next 3 months, but I'm talking maybe 3 months, 6 months, something that you have coming up that the audience will be interested in, to be looking forward to. And I will explain that when I introduce myself. But Roger, was there something that you had coming up or that's in the works?
Yes, coming up in April will be a 4-week course on senior wellness, and a YouTube channel is being launched. So it's going to be a busy 2 months, 3 months. So that's
Excellent.
coming up, and people should, I think they'll have my contact information. They can, they'll that if they contact me, I'll be able to tell them how to get
Well, we'll be taking care of that at the end of this for all of you, not to worry.
Okay.
Excuse me, Chris. Oh,
Yes.
we have our last speaker coming in as well. Russ, Chris, I know you've got stuff that is moving right now. You have things in the work. You want to say a little bit about that?
Just briefly, yeah. So right now, one of the things for any executive leaders that are interested in deepening their own brand experience and focusing on the brand and branding components of their work, then I have the Executive Identity Lab that I have is active right now, and I'm always looking for new folks to come and join and to participate in that. It's a monthly program, and it's a chance to come in and focus on the key messages of more pay, more power, and more promotions.
Fantastic. And so we just had our final speaker join us, Russ. Russ, could you do me a favor and in front of your name, please put speaker? It's by the 3 dots. Yeah. And then please unmute yourself. And what I'm doing right now is having everybody introduce themselves to our audience.
Hello. Can you hear me, Karina?
Yes, we can hear you fine. Just do me the biggest favor and in front of your name, just put speaker so the audience will know that you're one of the speakers on the panel.
I got you, Russ. Don't worry.
Okay. And then I'm going to continue down the line as people are here. So Jenny, please
Hi.
introduce yourself.
I'm Jenny Knowles Morrison, and I'm here in Austin, Texas, and thrilled to be with everybody and loving learning about everyone else. I'm a certified transformational coach with the Brave Thinking Institute and founder of The Important Work. So it's a boutique coaching firm where we inspire rising leaders to really embrace their authentic purpose with courage, clarity, intention. And that's what I love to do, is really help inspire people to live their highest vision every day, really focus on helping people foster love, joy, authentic connection in their life, and do that by helping people prioritize what's most important. That's the important work. And helping people to really learn how to design balance between career and their personal lives so that they can really amplify their impact in alignment with their dreams. And I have a group 12-week Dream Builder series that will be launching in just a few weeks. So anybody who's here would love to connect, and I can share a coupon code, but I'd love to help you work on a 12-week process where you can build a life you'd love living, but other like-minded.
That is so excellent.
Yeah,
And the time management portion to understand and learn priorities is huge.
Yeah.
So yes, we can't wait to hear about that. And Nicola, our beautiful Croatian who is up in the middle of the night to be here with everyone. Nicola, hi, please introduce yourself to the audience.
Thank you, Karina. Thank you, dear Karina, and I'm really honored to be with you all. This is why I'm here, and it's 1:22 a.m. in Croatia. I live in the hometown of Nikola Tesla, and I am mental fitness coach and business coach. I love to work with entrepreneurs and high performing, high achievers who want, and I help them to double their energy and overcome fatigue, overwhelm, and burnout. I'm also positive intelligence coach, and I combine mental fitness coaching and bioengineering. I was athlete also when I was younger, and this is my love. My most important value is freedom. I believe that we can achieve almost anything if we find this inner freedom in ourselves.
Oh, Nicola, thank you. And yes, that is the heart of the matter, isn't it? That internal freedom, and then everything else can move and shift. So yes, between the mental fitness and biohacking, we can't wait to hear a little bit more of what you want to share.
Yes, and
Thank
you
you.
can find me also on LinkedIn. And if someone is interested for positive intelligence, we have a beautiful community and also special app. And you can get a special free assessment and everyone can find their top saboteurs. And after that, schedule with me free call in any time. And
Great.
also, this app is for 3 months, 6 months, or for 1 year.
And
This is
that's what
something.
Nicola has. That's in the works for everybody now. Thank you, Nicola.
Thank you.
Phoebe.
Hello, hello, hello. Great to be here. I'm Gaby Jordan, the CEO of Source Elements Group and the founder and president of Human Better EDU, which is a nonprofit which is all things education. And what I do is I'm an executive life coach and global educator. And we empower executives and students to produce exponential results through aligned cultures and transformative education. So we teach people to human better.
Oh, I love that, to human better. And also, you also have, and I know you're going to help the audience understand more about the we to me. And I don't want to give any of that away, but it's completely tied into better leadership, a stronger team. And so that is, can't wait to hear more about that from you, Gaby.
Right.
And what do you have in the works right now that's coming up?
So next week on February 6th, I will be speaking at the Global Genius Summit, and that's on February 6th at 5 p.m. Eastern. And then people can find me on LinkedIn, and you'll see the things that I'm up to there, and I roll things out there. So Instagram and LinkedIn are the places they can find me.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much, Gaby. Ren, okay, my screen shifted, so I don't want to lose who I've been asking to introduce himself. Ren, please. Hi, sweetie.
Hi there, I'm Ren Roberts, and I love to help business owners find and create more money in their business using technology and to get more of this financial freedom and joy. And that's what FFJ stands for. So this is what we bring, and we use the technology, maybe some assistance. And the idea is, how can you work more in your business without having to work harder? And regardless of what goes on in life, your income keeps coming in to sustain your business and your personal. So that's what we work towards. And tech is a great way that we utilize doing that.
Oh, and yes, you do focus very strongly on passive income. That is, I'm telling you, she's a champ. And Ren, you have several things that you constantly have going. And what do you want to share that you have right now that somebody can opt in or opt in very near future?
Perfect. Well, I have amazing free resources for business owners. So at any time, jump into my Facebook group. I do a lot of live streaming and trainings and all sorts of goodies. My YouTube channel is active as well. So like if you want to follow along on more life stuff, where I'm building a website, what does it look like to optimize it? And then I also have my programs. So then my students come backstage, they have Q&A, hot seats, all that. And if you just want to look at my eyes on your business and how to optimize it, definitely we can talk there too.
Great. Thank you, Ren. Arnie, Dr. Arnie.
Hi, I thank you for having me here. I'm Arnie Buss. I'm a relationship coach, and I help couples who feel like the spark is faded. They find themselves stuck in constant arguing, maybe having the same fights again and again and again. And I help them by teaching a transformational communication techniques that help them reconnect, rediscover their intimacy, reignite the love and passion, and make their relationship even stronger and more fulfilling than it was in the early days.
Now, that's quite an accomplishment to help people regain that spark, stop the fighting, figure out how to stop the fighting, and feel that passion again. So, Arnie, something in the works?
Yes, actually, I have on February 22nd, I'm going to be offering a free masterclass for women in a relationship with a man. And this is called, Why Does He Do That? in which I will help women understand the confusing, perplexing, and sometimes infuriating and frustrating things that men do. And I will clarify so much of that and help women learn to communicate better and actually reach and connect with the man that they're involved with.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Yes, that is always puzzling. So thank you for stepping in that area. Geeta.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. This is Geeta Bhatia, and I am a menopause coach. And my focus is on South Asian women so that I can help them to not just uh, survive, thrive in the second half of this life. So that's what is my focus. And I'm very glad to see all the speakers. And again, glad to be here.
And Geeta, there are many myths that surround menopause. And I know that you're going to help shed some light on busting through so they can turn around, women can start. And it's not just women, it's the mentality of what menopause is and a woman who's going through the menopause and how we're looked at and all those things. So you have a lot of beautiful tips. You're also an author. And and so I know within your book you have that already available for people, but what else do you have coming up in the not too distant future?
Okay, so I'll just share that. So this is the book which you just mentioned. So this is The Gift of Menopause, and that's the purpose actually, making like midlife and menopause is just a gift. So that's the main thing. And as February is the month of love, the Valentine, I have a Love and Shine challenge, a 10 days challenge coming up in month of February, and it's going to be completely free. So that's what it's next in line. Bye.
Oh, thank you. That's going to be fabulous. And Russ, you made it. Thank you very much. I don't know what you had to go through, but I know it was a lot to be with us here, but we're grateful. So, Russ, please introduce yourself.
Good evening, everybody, fellow hosts, and everyone that's joined the call. I'm so glad that I made it. I had to run all the way from Canada, all the way down to Mexico, all the way up onto the Yucatan Spit. And I think the internet followed me from Canada, but it was a little bit behind. It couldn't keep up with me. So hence my little bit of tardiness. I am a business strategist, corporate positivity strategist, and I also focus on life coaching. Individuals show up in business and the corporate world. I tend to focus a little bit more on the C-suite and managers, high-level executives. Um, Essentially, people get so lost in trying to figure out how this rat race works. And they can't understand how interaction anymore is with all the communication that we've got. They're having a really hard time understanding everything they're being bombarded with every day. Overwhelm, anxiety, depression, there's so many things that creep into the world, and leaders feel very alone because they're supposed to be the big people on campus, and they're not supposed to fail, they're not supposed to be weak. So I try and help people ground again and come back from where they are. I spent 3 decades in the wealth management world, so money is near and dear to most people's worlds. And so I spent a lot of time trying to figure that side of it out. Had a lot of phenomenal success and real estate. And there's a whole bunch of things that I bring to the table, service of country, families. And that is what allows me to identify, I guess, and see a lot of people's ins and outs and what they kind of hide behind. So we bring ourselves to the front again, find our identity and who we really are. And I help encourage you and inspire you to connect with your outer world, but first with your inner world.
And we know very much about that, Russ, don't we? And
Absolutely.
you are an amazing strategist because it is about business and life. And you have gone through several lifetimes in this one lifetime, very successfully, let me say. And yes, we still get bombarded because when you're a strong figure, everybody only sees that and doesn't see the real you. And then you start to diminish yourself when you don't see you. And so bringing the person back to themselves is just such a gift. And thank you for that. And may I ask, what do you have coming up in the not too distant future?
Well, I started out as a columnist, writing in the wealth management world, and I'm actually launching a book in the not too distant future. We're offering a corporate retreat in France and Italy, where we're doing cultural as well as coaching in the business world. And that is, we're lining up for a 3, 6, and 12-month coaching program. Of course, the book will be part of that, and we'll tune everybody in. And you can't beat the French Riviera for, a meeting place. So, there might be a little bit of fun in the sun and the beach and just a little culture. We've got some culinary stuff happening with an amazing chef. So it's really, it's one of those things that you might want to look hard at if you're in the business world and you want to jump to the front.
Wow. That sounds amazing. We all want to hop on that plane with you. Thank you, Russ. We're going to hear more about that balance with strategy, staying positive, because that overwhelm structure always steps in as things happen. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
And so let me introduce myself. My name is Karina Carj'an Bowman, and I am a holistic health practitioner. That can turn around and encompass a great deal many things. My focus is the energy work that I do, and I have been trained by the masters for decades, my whole life. There's many ways in which to work energy and get results by reconnecting to yourself first. And it is about spirituality with practicality. And a lot of people feel that that is separate, but it is not. It's just reawakening to the bigger wholeness of who you are. So people do get overwhelmed. People do get stuck. People do want to change. People don't know how. My path is not, let's say, common. I'm a little bit outside of the box. I work with ancient wisdom, and I am the bridge to the modern problems of today. So my position to help everybody at this point of my own stage of development is to help bring you back to connecting to yourself, understanding actually who you are by first developing a communication with your breath and your body, and allow you to now start telling your brain how to function and connect with the intelligence of your heart instead of being run by the brain, the fears, the unconscious sabotaging beliefs, and embracing all of who you are, past, present, and future, and bringing your future into your present. So I am known also as a dream seer. I am an author. I am a transformational quantum energy leader. And my abilities are very subtle, but I cultivate your energy environment to be able to receive what you were ready to awaken to have more clarity for the path and your purpose that you've always held within your heart. And that is done through workshops and programs that I do carry. You'll get to learn more about that. And so I am the host this evening. Colleen is the co-host. We want you to please put any questions in the chat. We are going to engage with you. If you're not comfortable with it, you can put something over in the comments later as we go into more information for you, because we want to give you a spattering of more than one way how to approach this new year to empower you to become the better version of yourself, to be able to fulfill those dreams, to come out of that place of where you're stuck, whether it is emotional, your health, your goals, the business, relationship, your finances, it does not matter. There's more than one way, but understand this: whatever you're trying to solve or attain, it impacts your entire life. So when you work with a holistic, intentional mindset with clarity, then you will start to be able to develop and start to feel how you align with something, how you resonate. And that is how you're going to produce the results fastest. And no two ways are the same. No two people are the same. And so this amazing panel here is here to share their wisdom for you. And when you stay to the end, before you leave, in the chat, you're going to get a link that we call a gratitude bundle. Everybody's contact information is there, but also each speaker has a gift for you for tools to get you started as well. And that is our way of saying thank you for being here. I know over in YouTube, you're going to have to put in the comments who you are in order for us to get you anything over to you. So I thank you very much. So here we are. There's many different directions to go. I do have some questions for parts of the panel, and then the panel will also be asking each other when that portion resonates with them. And this is just a free flow this evening. And we're going to cover as much information as we can. So I apologize for my glasses and not being able to see me very well, but I just came out of 2 eye surgeries, and so I'm a little struggling at the moment to try and see and the intensity of the lights, but I will do my best to, that's why I printed stuff out, but then I realized I can't even read it that well. So bear with me. And here we go. Here's the thing that I would love to ask Gaby. Okay, since we're talking about team dynamics, I really would love for you to explain to people, what does it mean by moving from we to me, and how does it impact, honestly, the dynamics of a team?
Absolutely. So what I say is executive teams and teams in general crush results when the team dynamic moves from we to me. And yes, you heard that right. Why I say that, because we've all been trained like, it's about the team, it is, but it needs to start with accountability. So moving from we to me begins people looking to see where they have power, and by the way, where they suck, because we want to include both, right? There is authenticity that comes to bear when you look at the things that you do really well, because we really do start people from looking at where have you made something happen, where have you created a result, like even if you didn't know how. But in that arena, you really design something, and then that shows you that you have the power. And then if you look at where are the things not so great in your world, is what you're doing not serving yourself or others, and with a commitment to evolve it, that has you really looking at the me, which then contributes to the we. So it is really finding the me inside the we, just to confuse things a little bit.
Oh, I love that. I love that image. Would anybody want to ask Gaby a little bit more or have something to contribute on that particular perspective? And I'm asking the panel at the moment. And Joby, we will, let's ask you right now. You're putting your hand up, sweetheart, and welcome. And please unmute yourself though, because we won't be able to hear you.
Thank you, sweetheart. And I'd love to unmute. I'd love to share. I'd of course love to interrogate the hell out of the Gaby and see everything. Just have her pour her wisdom on all of us. But I just sent a note. I'm hosting my own event in a few minutes, and so I made them wait so I could get a little bit of each of you tonight. I wasn't able to participate earlier, and I just wanted to get each of your faces in my DNA and take it all in. I love you so much. So I have no questions at all for any of you, except I just love to see your faces, and I'm glad to be here, even for a moment. Karina, what you put together, rock star. So take care of your eyes. I'll see you soon.
And go take it all and do a rock star event. I'm sure you will, Joby. No
100%.
question.
Just trying to sell the retreat center, and I'll jump back into life. I love you all.
Well,
Okay,
sweetheart,
bye-bye.
thank you very much for coming and sharing some love.
Oh my God, so glad to see y'all.
Love you, Joby.
Bye-bye, y'all.
Bye-bye,
Hey,
Joey.
Dr. Arnie. Bye, y'all. Much love.
Okay, so
Karina, would I
that
be
was
able
very
to
sweet.
ask a quick question of Gaby?
Absolutely.
So, Gaby, when you talk about me to we, individuality versus team concept, how do you connect a team from individuality and the need to stand out to being part of a team? Like, is it empowerment? Is it enlightenment? What do you do with that?
So one of the things I'll say is that we actually start people when we work with groups at the same time. So I do one-on-one executive coaching for sure, but also when we're working on team dynamics and really creating an aligned team, because that's what we do. We start with the individual so that they can start to see their own power, but then we move over to looking at how they, mostly in the areas that don't work so well, impact the team. And when you have people start to get connected in a way that they don't typically get connected, when you have them share themselves intimately and vulnerably, which we do in the very first instance, that then gives them a different way to connect to their cohort. So we've created amazing results from companies where, I like to tell the story about there's a company that we work with that had only 4 months to catch up with their 25% behind and on their sales. And they did it on a $2 billion company, and we didn't work on their sales. And how we got them to do that was by having them start to look at themselves, start to look at where they were great, but also where they were a bit disconnected. So it's individual ownership. And then that translate to great, how am I going to contribute to the team so we don't act in silos? So it's not that we talk to people individually so that they stand out alone. We actually have them see their own power. And then inside of that, what are they committed to for the team? So the we to me is just the beginning part.
I kind of thought there might have been a leverage launch point there. You're amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so
It's
much.
fantastic. Well, when we are working with ourselves and bringing out the best part of ourselves, mental fitness is huge. And to understand how to develop that a little bit more, Nicola, what would you say about that, especially if we're looking at the person is whether they're the CEO or whether they are part of a team that they want to have a better outcome of where they are right now? How would mental fitness play into all of that?
Yes, thank you on this question. Mental fitness is our ability to respond to life challenges with a positive mindset, rather than letting negativity take over. And for me, it's always choice between fear and love. And if we know how to recognize our state, we call this our inner saboteurs. If we understand our analytical part of mind, then we know how to intercept and preempt these limiting beliefs and negative energy in ourselves. And when we know how to do this, we at the moment we know how to accept any situation and convert this, let's say, negative state in some gift and opportunity through the present moment. And then we energize our sage powers, we call this sage brain, and find this balance between, this is neuroscience, between right side of the brain and left side of the brain, and find this balance. Through this balance, we activate sage powers. We, for sure, maybe the most when we are in sage state positive state of mind, then we it is easy to use empathy and empathy power. Also, we explore any situation and analyze what's happening right at the moment. Then we have 5 sage powers. Innovate power. Also, we find some new solutions, new answers, and we navigate ourselves to we see why something important for us. We can almost speak with our elder self and find and see this end goal, what's important for our life, and also at the end we find clear-headed action, that we are calm, present, that we don't struggle with some negative thoughts or some distractions, and just through the present moment create some beautiful new results for us and for others. And this is the beauty, that we can do this, we can practice this. We just need to rewire our nervous system. And what is important, that only 20% is some inside, the rest is practice. We need to practice daily, every day. And the beauty is that today we know that through the consistency, through the work, this can do anyone.
Well, that is extremely true about the consistency, because nobody, if you think you're going to one-time wonder, and you're going to ride that the rest of your life. It doesn't work. And you're not perfecting and expanding on personal growth. You're doing just the opposite. You start diminishing. And with the mental health capacity, this fits all of your fields that are here, all of you, in every direction, one way or the other. Like Chris, okay, so with understanding what Gaby was saying and what Nicola was saying, to turn around with that executive brand, all of that follows suit in order to gain that type of clarity of actually who they are and what they can bring out in order to articulate that to whomever they're trying to reach at that point in time. Would you want to expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, it's really about having the right mindset going in to say, one, I have a message, and two, I want to be able to communicate it. Three is be able to say, I want to get it to a certain audience. And part of the brand landscape is really about for all of us here and for anybody that, that I worked with and also beyond, getting a level of clarity about what your story is and how to succinctly communicate it in a way that's going to resonate with your audiences is really the paramount work that we have to do to say, how do I make sure that they see me the way I need to be seen and that they value what I'm actually here to do? When I work with my leaders, it's really, I talked to one leader yesterday actually who is at Amazon, and they have this challenge of they had done some amazing work. They're VP level and they're doing some amazing work, but they hadn't been communicating what their actual story was. They hadn't been driving a narrative. They've been accomplishing things, but they hadn't been driving a narrative internally. And so they're missing out on opportunities about how they can get even more exposure internally and externally, frankly, to be able to say, how can I make sure that I'm seen in the way I want to be seen? Additionally, this person wants to be on boards. Well, if they want to be on boards, there's a runway to make sure that you're set up for that and to make sure that you're going on a trajectory that says, this is how I want to be seen in the marketplace to my network and to those around. And if that person isn't investing as they haven't been, then their own goals and desires of what they want for themselves don't line up. So getting that right mental space to build upon what Gaby and also what Nicola had shared is really important because there has to be a recognition that there is something that has to be said and what that message is, and then communicate that all the way through, whether it's whether it's in meetings internally, inside the company, externally in the marketplace, however it is, to make sure it's consistent, it's clear, and it's aligned.
Yeah, well, excellent. Absolutely. And having said that, whether you're taking a position where you're looking for an exact brand, it's still about clarity and your message. Whether you are dealing with a team or you are still building some form of a brand where you want to do passive income, you have to, in order to sustain passive income and really get it moving, you have to get really darn clear for it to keep going and lay down all the groundwork as well. And yet you still have people that you're interacting with. So you essentially have a team, not necessarily employees. And it still comes to every one of you here because as you get older, your energy starts to diminish. It changes your mindset. So you need to figure out how to start switching that around and have healthier aspects of how you live, right? Right, Roger?
Yes, yes. And as everyone was saying, it really takes some brutal honesty to really understand where I've never seen anyone really change without being really honest about where they are at themselves. As Gaby was saying, it doesn't the team doesn't work unless there's individual responsibilities, and the individual has their own weaknesses and their own gifts, and that has to be really clear, and be articulated. I don't think the change, whether you're, for I work with seniors, and they really want to have more energy, but they really have to understand, to make the changes, they have to get a clear understanding of where they're at right now. Um, uh, it's Yeah, and I think that's sort of I think that is something we have in common in all of the speakers, is that real understand, we're the brutal honesty it takes.
Yeah, it really does. And it's something that in general most people avoid. And so they chase everything externally, but they won't work internally. But if they put that energy internally first, then what they are going to receive externally is exponential. It's quantum. And part of accountability is to accept the fact that your health may be off and you have to pay attention to it. But Russ, you have a statement in this, and we're just going to go round robin with this because this impacts, all of you have a piece that impacts this whole idea and perception.
I just want to add one little thing.
Yes,
in terms of the
absolutely.
brutal honesty. Agreed. And I just want to make sure people are clear, because there is something, even in the way that I say, there are places that you suck. The point of it is you want to have a sense of humor about it.
Absolutely.
We all have foibles, and we all have places where we're not the most awesome human being, even though we would like to pretend we are awesome all the time. We're not, right? But if you can bring a sense of humor to it, it's the same thing, Roger, as when you're doing work with people and they have to deal with their physical health. If they cannot beat themselves up over it, they have space to be able to do.
Yeah.
And that's why when we work in a group, we have people identify those things. We don't go point the finger, oh, this is where you suck. No, it's they look at like, oh, hey, where am I not as great as I think I am, or I'd like to be? And then when people see that you're willing to work on evolution of yourself, then they get some freedom. They can contribute to you as well. And so I just wanted to clarify when you said the brutal honesty, it's not like with a bludgeon, but with a sense of humor.
I think the brutal honest. I agree. I so agree with what you're saying, and you can, I've never seen anybody be able to really do a transformational change without really coming from what is, and that's the opportunity of being able. That's the opportunity of the brutal honesty.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, perfect. Russ, you wanted to add to that.
So I think the core of all of this comes back to us. And accountability versus blame is a big game in this world. When we lack trust, we're always in defense mode. So if you're in your head, you're dead. If you're in your heart, that's the place to start. That's where the trust begins within us. So when you start with your own language, your own thoughts, if you think life sucks, you're right. If you think life's great, you're right. It's not that things don't happen in the world, and not everything is sunshine and roses and unicorns. And, lots of stuff happens in the world today. And positivity is a very, very difficult. I mean, we've got CNN, the constant negative news network, or BNN, the BS news network, or wherever you want to take the negativity. But remember, if you look at a battery, it has a positive and a negative pole. And it takes a wire to go from the positive pole to the negative pole for a connection. If you don't connect with the negative pole, there's no energy that goes there and it stays positive potential. This is what we have to look for within ourselves. If we take that and you hang around with 5 people in your world that are going to energize your world, not connecting with the negativity, if somebody's negative, run away like your hair's on fire. Don't even stay there. Just, you've got to start with you being
When
positive.
one can, yes.
Attitude of gratitude gives you the platitude for the day.
Absolutely. Run away. It is true, but we always can't run away. So then we need tools to be able to work with that, but it will impact your health. Now, some of that negativity, okay, lands in our relationships, doesn't it, Arnie? And it festers when we don't have the tools. And then, so whatever dreams that we have to create any business and some joy in freedom and finance, Ren, we can't reach it. And so deeper dreams with our management and our priorities, they're all screwed up, Jenny. And then our health is really messed up, Liz. And we need to shift our darn energy. And when we get to be females, to be getting a certain age, but even men, okay, there is a menopause time that impacts us, Geeta. And so our brain goes haywire a little bit differently, and we have to learn to understand it. And in order to have any sort of presence that we want to have out there in the world, Colleen, this can all screw you up. So it does boil down to accepting who you are, not playing the blame game, trying to stay in gratitude. And there are simple ways to stay into gratitude through consistency, Nicola, because without that, you don't develop a new behavior pattern. You don't get to replace a new one. So what are we saying here?
Well, one of the things that Nicola has that the work that he does, which is really valuable, is even when there is something which we perceive to be negative in the mental fitness game, we look at it as, okay, where's the gift? And it takes something to actually cause that. But that's one of the tools that he's working with inside of positive intelligence, which is looking at the gift to any situation. There's a funny story that the person who created positive intelligence likes to tell. It's called the stallion story. And where you actually start to, like anything that happens, a broken leg or this or that. It's like, I thought of Geeta with like the gift of menopause, like they're great things that happen as your body is changing and evolving, and we don't necessarily look at those things. So there's some definite intersection here between what we do as we take on whatever we're dealing with and creating forward moving.
Absolutely. And it does take courage.
For sure.
That's the whole thing. People think that you just have to be strong. I'm going to be positive the way I speak, the way I think, the way I walk, but that isn't real life. Crap happens. It really does. And I have a whole lifetime of bizarre shit, crappy things, blessed things, unusual things. I mean, even when I busted my foot 3/4 off my leg and broke part of my leg, in which I have a 6-inch plate right now, I was trying to save a wild turkey being attacked by others. And yeah, it was just a freak accident, but paid a huge price. But the light on that is the fact that I got a chance to stop taking care of everybody else And I had to, once I got out of the pain enough, I had to then reassess, what do I want to do? Who am I really? And not just living for other people. So it gave me the universe, if I don't listen, the universe will keep at me until it stops me cold. And that was a hard stop. But yet, so much came out of that in such a way, even though I'm still dealing with it to a degree, but medically, I surpassed anything that they thought was possible. And that's energy work, folks, over there in connection to bigger source. But there is light in everything. And what does happen in our life, every piece of it is valuable. And so we don't put a stigma on good, bad for ourselves when we learn by it. And you can't succeed if you don't fail, because you have no relative scale, you have no motivation, you have no introspection. But things get in the way. If you're in a relationship and you're doing nothing but fighting and you can't get beyond that, then how can you touch anything else, Arnie?
Well, something has to change if that's the case. And for that, there are specific ways of addressing that. A lot of when we hear communication, we think of it often as how do I get my point across? Most fights occur when you have two people who are trying to get their point across and nobody's listening. But here's the thing, we all have two ears, but only one mouth. And so that suggests that we should maybe listen twice as often as we speak. So the solution, if you will, to the fighting is for at least one of the partners to kind of turn around. They're trying to get their point across and validate and hear what the other person is expressing, their point of view. Now, it's important to go much more deeply than just listening, because listening is just about kind of hearing the superficial words, and then often mentally we're disagreeing in our minds. Deep listening is about putting all of that aside and completely validating what the other person is expressing, whether you agree with it or not. And it's especially important when you disagree. But that's really the key, and that's a challenging skill. You probably heard of things like active listening and whatever. Active listening is fine as far as it goes. My experience is that it doesn't go quite far enough. And I teach a skill called tracking, which goes much more deeply into that. In fact, you can read about it in my book called Here on Amazon. And it allows you to go beyond the words and beyond the message behind. Or just typical example of why listening to the words isn't effective. Let's say your partner comes home and they're obviously in some kind of mood. And you say, honey, are you okay? And they say, I'm fine. Well, if you listen to the words, oh, honey, okay, I hear you say that you're fine. No, that's not going to land. So the first key to turning things around is to listen deeply and validate, especially feelings. This is where many men struggle, but even women sometimes struggle because, well, at least in heteronormative relationships, a male and a female, women tend to be more expressive in their emotions, be more connected to them. Men have the same rainbow of emotions. It just that we're socialized to not connect to it. I mean, typical man has feelings like mad, sad, glad, angry, horny. Whereas with women, it's much more delicate. But we have the whole rainbow of emotions, and especially it's almost as if we're two different species.
It's true. And it's to learn not necessarily a common language, but a different language sometimes. And that takes, excuse me, guys, I'm coughing for some reason. It takes some brave thinking. Does it not, Jenny?
Yes, absolutely. And I was just I also am a group dynamic team specialist and as well as the work I'm doing now. And one thing that I think is really important to sort of tie a couple of themes together is right back to where Gaby started, when you can be responsible for your discontents, right? And then what you're, because I think with a lot of groups, there's a real passivity and somebody else is going to fix the problem. I'm sure Gaby will want to jump in, but when you go, I'm responsible for my discontents and I'm committed to building a vision, right? This is when we get into brave thinking. In my presentation, I've talked about common hour thinking and brave thinking, but when you can really commit to building a shared or both individual visions for a particular relational outcome, I think that really creates a new foundation. And then you can step into the team or relationship from this vision-driven thinking. And so it really is talking about a growth mindset, right? Most of us are talking about the notion of a growth mindset. But when you're in the brave thinking, the other thing that's really beautiful is as things are coming up in these relationships and especially in the group dynamics, if we can embrace the fear, right? This is one of the major points of brave thinking is recognize it as a stepping stone. And these conflicts are part of the journey, as Karina has been sharing, open to, and Gaby also the gratitude, what's there to learn here? And, why is this experience in front of me? And you can begin to embrace that fear as actually a growth signal. Oh, we're on our green growing edge. We're doing the work, right? So, I think that also, the brave thinking choice is about being bold and proactive instead of waiting for external conditions to improve. And that goes right back to, as Roger was talking about, this internal work, not kind of looking to the outside to fix the things. So I think that's probably enough. I don't want to take up too much time, but wonderful conversation you're facilitating, Karina. Thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. So brave thinking, Ren, when one wants to turn around and create something that is going to honestly give him some sort of joy and not be in the struggle of finance. And passive income is a great way to go.
It is. And it's so like mixed complicated, right? It's like people want it and then it's like, oh, though I need to solve the money now. Like they're so focused on that urgent need versus this idea of like, well, the best time to do the tree was 20 years ago, however, like now. So that's the big mentality is most people get stuck in the day-to-day or the I'm stuck in this part. And so that's where, flipping that around, seeing possibility. I like to use technology to do that and the heart of our own business. How can you use your idea or your life's work to make income streams for yourself? Like, awesome, make money, buy gold, buy real estate, buy investments, and it's your idea that's actually creating the money. So that's the really fun part. And I love how to tie it in with the gratitude moments. I start off the classes that I teach and I'm like, if the only thing that you take away is to have more gratitude, you will improve your business.
That is so true. And having more gratitude will help your health condition and help shift your energy more, won't it, Liz?
Yes. Hi. Sorry, there's some background noise and I just wanted to mute myself so I wasn't sort of interfering. Karina, I do want to talk about, there's a lot of commonality here. The gratitude, the consistency was something that I was really sort of feeling into. Can I just go back to the turkey for a moment, though?
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
because you said something really interesting. You said I had to rescue the turkey and all this happened, but it gave me an opportunity to stop taking care of everybody else. What were you doing when you got hurt? You were taking care of that turkey, right? So what was the universe really showing you in that moment, Karina? You need to, right?
Well, I paid a big
the
price. I paid a big price. That is very true, Liz.
Yeah.
That was kind of like the final piece to get me to stop. Because I would not have injured myself with taking care of the family. It's me hopping out of the shower, throwing on a bathrobe, butt naked, no phone, no anything, heavy boots, with a broom, hopping over a rock wall.
Oh my goodness.
And getting the flock away from this poor turkey that was being assaulted, which happened in the past, and I had to bring it to the wild animal hospital to rescue another one. And I didn't want to go through that. I didn't want to see the animal hurt. And so was I thinking at all? Oh, heck no.
Right.
And but that's what it took for the universe to get my attention.
Yeah, that's sort of what you were doing to aspects of yourself by constantly being the one responsible for your family, right? Like you have so much to offer everybody else, and you more than most know how important it is for us to take care of ourselves. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that was just an interesting sort of approach to the message for me. But you were asking me about gratitude. Is that right?
Well, gratitude itself, okay, first off, since I work in frequencies and energy, and I mean, that's my whole background. When you are in a state of gratitude, it will raise your frequency level, which will help you start not only healing a situation physically or emotionally or psychically, but it will also give you the opportunity to feel more what's in your body that needs attention, that does need the healing, in order to be able to start to shift the energy.
Yeah, it's sort of a slow, I mean, I think it sort of connects with something that Gaby was saying before about, how like if we view the things that are negative only as negative and I suck and all of that, it's not going to be productive for us, right? If we view the way we feel about those parts of ourselves and say, this is telling me something, then that gives us a place to go, right? And even if we don't know where to go, at least we're not just sort of feeding the problem with the negativity. And so I wanted to tie in there.
I think Jenny was also saying something like that. She called it the green growing edge or something like that. But it's like when you see you don't need to get stuck and you don't need to be fearful, it's like, oh, what am I learning?
Exactly.
Right.
It's actually a stepping stone. It's we want the fear. Like, oh, that's a sign that we're on the right track.
Yeah. Thank you, Jenny. Yeah. I think a lot of us are saying that in a way, right? In different sort of or actually probably very similar way. But I was also thinking about with the gratitude and the inconsistency. So there's this idea that, like if you were talking about vibration, if my vibration is low and I'm like, oh, I forgot to be grateful today, I'm going to do that. That can work really well if you were grateful yesterday and the day before and the day before that, right? And you know that you'll be grateful tomorrow. It will still work most likely if you haven't been grateful in 3 months, but it's not going to have the same sort of impact on your vibration. It's not going to sort of give you that rhythm or of where you want to, where you're aspiring to get to. And so, I mean, I'm not going to say never, but I will say that it's more, you know, it feels more aligned and productive to make it a habit. It's just like people who love to meditate. It's not because they do it twice a year. It's probably that they're getting something out of doing it on some sort of consistent basis.
Well,
Liz, I think,
it is
Liz,
definitely the consistency about everything. And even though that we all have the same core message to a very large degree, we all have all different methods in order to achieve that. And so from one moment to the next, some person could be first over here, and then when they get that little bit of alignment, then all of a sudden they're ready, they're in a receiving mindset, and then they can shift over to something else and move back and forth. So it is about, honestly, bringing things together where people can feel safe with themselves. And that's part of why people are fearful, because ultimately they don't trust themselves because they don't know themselves, because they haven't taken the time to go inward.
Absolutely.
And in order to achieve anything that we're all saying here, the accountability of yourself is an inward thing. To gain clarity is an inward thing. To be able to have a vision is an inward thing. To be able to want to change something is an inward thing. To want to stay positive and have a strategy is an inward thing. To want to be able to feel what your body's doing through the menopause change, it's an inward thing. In order to want to express out in the world how you want people to see your brand is an inward thing. To gain more energy as a senior is an inward thing. How does one start up a business having a digital presence? It's an inward thing. My training, most of my life, has been without words. No words at all from the masters for decades. And so that's great when I'm doing live workshops, because people are in the energy and they follow me. It's not like virtual. Virtual is a whole different world. And the interesting thing is that, okay, getting back to the turkey and having to be laid up, I got the opportunity to start to learn the virtual world because I no longer had a brick and mortar from the other coast, which I gave up to come to the East Coast to take care of my aging parents. And so it is a very interesting route that can happen. But a consistency, getting back to gratitude, intention, connecting to the heart, coming back to first me in order to be a better we, to be able to be clear about what message and how to go about our health and stop the arguments and what kind of passive income and how to become strong with a strategist for your own life and business and in your life. And understanding that things are a gift like menopause and being a strong leader, all these things do take courage. They do take some level of understanding oneself, but you have to want to change first and foremost. I mean, that's a given. If you don't want things to stay the same, then you have to take some sort of action, and the motivation then will follow. But, you know, the expression fake it till you make it, that kind of works. And that's what I first did when I went into Disney. And I was there for over a decade in feature animation. Right at the head of the class with Roy and Jeffrey and all of them. So yeah, that is part of the thing, but shifting yourself, knowing that you can do it at a level that you don't need anybody else but yourself, because we're all told we need this, we need that, everything outside of ourselves. That's not true. What's true is that we're amazing beings, bigger than what we remember. So it's waking back up to all that remembrance to really know the power that you really have. And so for my world, the people I will work with are only that are 80% plus committed to change. They don't have to know a thing on how to do it, but they have to be committed to themselves. And it really is that accountability again to themselves. Russ, you were going to say something.
Karina, I think pretty much all of the coaches here would say that you don't go to the gym once, lift one weight, and you're a bodybuilder. There's a system and a process that I call it the machine, and it's the gears in the machine. And the gear stands for get everything arranged right. So if you do the work, well, we're rewarded in public what we do in private. If we practice in private consistently and we build the habits that we need to get consistent results, get everything arranged right, and then we plan forward, that the machine gets greased on a regular basis. If you practice meditation in the morning, which is an attitude of gratitude, start your day with 3 positives. What you're in gratitude for, then what you want to have happen in the day that is going to be positive for you, and see the result is done. That's getting it arranged right before you ever start your day. Then you can make your bed and you've accomplished something. And then you move forward. It's just having a system that you can understand and identify with.
Oh,
And I believe that's how
absolutely.
you align.
Absolutely. And that's why my world is source energy, the creator, and its practicality, because I've put everything to help people go from connecting to themselves to their dreams. I did put a system together actually with spirit. It wasn't all myself. And that's how the book follows. But it is about a system, because when I had my fitness and wellness center, I mean, I worked with all types of people, all walks of life, all different businesses. I did over 50,000 sessions. And it is about getting a system, but there's a basic system, but then it is also individualized at what point in time where the person is, in order for them to keep perpetuating a healthy system. So it is about becoming flexible to understanding that you really have that as you are growing or expanding in your understanding and your perceptions, that you have to be able to be adaptable. Because even in fitness, if Nicola knows this very strongly, if you keep doing the exact same exercise all the time and never change the routine, at first it's good, and then you actually start diminishing the muscle structure. I mean, it's just the way it is. It constantly has to be changed up. It's your mind thinking. When you're dealing with people in a team, you have to really see what keeps going on, the communication, what is switching around. Of course, with relationships, oh my God, that's such a tough one. Anyway, people are in marriages and stuff. It really is. And Colleen, I'm trying to save your voice and your throat a little bit because it's been
Thank you.
really harsh on you. And but I haven't forgotten you. And consistency too, people can look at it, Russ, as discipline or a ritual or habit, whatever they work with that is a positive feeling for them and not a negative one, that it's not work per se, that you can have fun with it and laugh and enjoy it at the same time, is very important. And so the consistency is also very necessary to understand how to start to develop a digital presence as well, Colleen. And you know that starting with people that the beginners, not necessarily a beginner in a business, but beginners trying to jump into the virtual world, that even though that you can give them tons of shortcuts and give them straight to the method of what they need and how to pull it out, that if they're not consistent with a presence, then it's not good. All that energy is going to end up kind of like on the floor, wasted,
Yeah,
exhausted.
absolutely. I was going to mention, that, yeah, that ties in here too. I mean, consistency is key, of course, but I don't want everyone to think that means I have to show up every day, everywhere. No, that's not a strategy, first of all. And second of all, you're going to completely, all of your energy is just going to be gone from doing that. So intentionality and, having 1 to 2 even just well thought out posts on an intentional platform that you're going to continue to show up on makes more of an impact than just randomly creating stuff and throwing it up, hoping. The intention that you create it with does matter, and the intention that are putting it out there, it's going to reflect. So yeah, absolutely.
It
And
is the intentionality. And Gita, trying to shift the mindset that menopause is a gift definitely is an intentionality. And how do you get the women to start to shift and look at menopause as not as a curse, although there are things that come with it that aren't fun, but that it is a gift?
Thank you for asking this question. So many things right now we talked, those are the things involved in this process and maybe more. But those are the foundation principles, like the way we were saying right now, like, okay, me too, we to me. Like that was one of the thing like which we said. And that was so awesome because like over here we are saying, okay, you have to bring attention to yourself first. So, and again, like your example you shared, and like how you started paying attention to yourself. So over here also, like taking that pause and like listening to your body, listening to your inner wisdom, your intuition, and acting on those intuition. That is also one of the thing. So now with the wisdom, with the menopause, like comes the wisdom and so much of experience, wealth of experience. And just we need to channelize all this in a proper way so that those all gifts, like whatever comes, the wisdom comes, the intuition comes, the strong gut feeling comes, and so much of, actually you have so much of courage. We talked about the fear. Like actually when we say fear and we stop taking action, actually fear is the best thing because it's telling us what next to do. Like in relationships in the midlife, again, like all these, like we take small things to the heart, and like so much complications we create. Why not just like the gratitude which we said, like a gratitude practice, letting go forgiving, but like finding our own peace so that we are at peace and we can actually realize our own gift. Why we are here, what we are supposed to give it to this world, and then working on it with that courage, consistency. If you're not clear, then getting that clarity. And everybody is sent here for some purpose, and everybody has some gift, and we just need to find it, like little bit brush it, and actually go out in the world, use it, so that when we are at the end of the life, like we feel that, oh my God, I lived this life to fullest. I love this life. So that's the way, like it's a process. Suddenly, as we were talking, like you don't go to the gym and then next day you have the six pack. Doesn't happen that way. Exactly following the processes, following like changing that mindset, the things 100% they fall in place, and we all deserve this. I feel each and every one here, like each and every women, we can say men also, deserve this. It's like not end of life, like it is like the second chance at life. So that's the way I look at it.
Well, that is such a beautiful way to be looking at it. And it is truth. Everything else that skews that belief system is just that. It's just skewed for the moment. But we are all designed, we're divinely created to create. That's our job. That's why we're here. And how we want to express it is a multitude of ways. And we all have that inner knowing somewhere deep within us. And so that is why I help bring people to a place to understand that we're not just this physical body, we are the spiritual being, and we are not separate. We're not trying to, it's out there, we're trying to reach it. It's not the carrot and the stick. It is completely different. We are all of this come down into here to express it out here. That's simple. It really is. And the more ancient, holistic energy practices that you ever get a chance to sit with. And I've been very blessed to be with the Four Nations most of my life, as well with Sufi masters, energy masters. I have a long list, so I'm not going to go over it. But you start to understand that the way the universe works is the most beautiful, elegant, chaos, simplistic dance. And all of us are part of that. We're not separate from it. And we get in trouble when we forget who we are and we get disconnected or we get kinked up. And there's many ways to reconnect into our own alignment so that we can now start to align into our purpose and our dreams and fulfill them. It doesn't mean that anybody has to be out there doing big, huge things. You change the world by you yourself living your own dreams, because your frequency raises. And the goal is not to, try and reach it, then drop, try and reach it and drop. No, it's to live in a higher frequency. And the gratitude and the sense of love for yourself, first and foremost, is what emits out there, and all of our energies intertwine. They really do. And so it's not an easy understanding for a lot of people, but yet everybody innately feels something. They want more. There's something bigger. And so we get distracted and we start looking things for outside when it is all inside. And all of you represent all these beautiful different ways in order to accomplish this. Everybody has different goals, of course. We're all different. We're all unique. Yeah, sure, we have commonalities between us, but we all have unique gifts. Everybody out there, you all have unique gifts. And so we're trying to bring you to the understanding, especially because this is the new year, that this is something you can start embracing. So I would love to hear, because we are going to keep it on time as we promised. And so we have a little bit more time, and I would love to get final inspiration from each and every one of you that you would like to leave with the audience before we bid them a beautiful good evening and blessed, magnificent year. So I'll just take you how I see you on the screen, or you can put your finger up first if you want to say something first. It doesn't matter. It has been just amazing to be with all of you and all of you out there, because whoever ends up watching us, you need what we have to share with you. Ren.
When you asked that inspiration, the first thing that came to mind, so I knew I needed to share it, was the be, do, have. And that's really, I felt that theme in here as far as that beingness. And that's for everyone saying, even that gratitude theme. So when we find that peace, or even just grasp that, that helps the doing action. And I love to say, I can teach you how to click the buttons. So if your thoughts are saying it's not going to work, I'm not successful, I'm not good enough, you're going to get different results than the other person clicking the exact same buttons. So be, do, and then you have the results that you're looking for. And that feeling is the most important thing. Have the feeling of what you're going for.
Beautiful. Thank you. Russ.
So I think it's important to recognize, first of all, Karina this evening for coordinating our entire efforts here. She's come through medical adversity and delivered over-the-top results for so many people here. I think it's incumbent on all of us to realize that we are actually one tribe. We're basic people, fight or flight, rest and digest is the opposite of that. We need to understand hope and the positivity in the world. We're seeing a huge transformation. This is the year of the snake. It sheds its outer skin. You take away what does not serve you, and you move forward with hope. Hope is everything in this world. We all operate on pleasure or pain. Dial down the pain side, what doesn't serve you, create less pain, move towards the positive. It's 80% psychology, 20% mechanics. Let's move forward together as a tribe. Bring value, flood value to anything and everyone that you look at. Eliminate judgment, bring a positive smile. You'll attract more smiles. That's the energy of positivity.
Thank you, Russ. I have to say, there isn't a patchy saying. You have a choice. You can travel the beautiful path, or you can travel the difficult path. Choose. And it is choice. Thank you, Russ. That's beautiful.
Suffering is a choice. It is. And you don't have to stick in that choice. Not that you can't suffer, just choose
Yeah,
to
it's
suffer for
not
just a little
invalid.
bit.
Yeah,
Just a little bit.
it's not taking away the truth of what somebody's feeling, but know that you can shift from that. And
Mindset.
everybody has that choice. Everybody. Nicola.
Oh, it's almost 3 a.m. and I'm inspired for bed. But our brain is a goal achieving machine for sure. And the universe is here for us. And it's beautiful opportunity. And God has big plans for us. We just need to accept this and understand why we have consciousness, why we are here. I love to say, with every choice, find your voice for limitless freedom.
Oh, I love that.
This is my final word.
Oh, I love that. Beautiful. Chris.
You
Sorry,
know,
Gaby.
one of the things for my process that I follow with my clients is about 3 steps. It's about clarity, positioning, and alignment. And I always talk about clarity and alignment as being cousins, that they require a regular and consistent and constant inquiry to see if you are, in fact, still clear and if you are, in fact, still aligned with whatever it is that you seek as far as your goals. And the important piece I would offer up is to have a level of curiosity to want to know, right? We talked a lot about the energies and everything else tonight, and having that curiosity to say, I want to be clear in whatever domain of life that you're seeking, but to always check and to do the inquiry and to see, am I aligned as well? Is that also a good pairing? Am I in sync? Am I in harmony with that? So those are my final thoughts about how to build on what's been shared tonight.
Oh, I love that. And I do have a saying, clarity rules.
That's why it's here.
Depending,
That's why it's here.
that's right. Depending, clarity is what will impact how the, I just lost it. Just like that. I loved your laugh right there. Isn't that the law of attraction? How the law of attraction shows up depends on the level of clarity of where you are. So one of the universal secrets is actually clarity dominates over the law of attraction. A lot of people don't know that, but it is true.
Well said.
Gaby. Oh, sorry, Chris. What?
No, I said well said.
Thank you. Gaby.
I'll pick up on what Chris said in terms of alignment, because the thing that I want to offer people is that you really do want to start from creating your North Star, whatever is that vision that you really are going for, relates also to clarity. But then the alignment is making sure that your actions and your thoughts are consistent with the reality that you are creating, not the one that is a default reality, but the one that you are creating. And so that there is a congruence between your reality, which includes your thoughts and feelings, your actions, and therefore your results. And if you start with that North Star, you'll have an opportunity to live into that, to evolve into it with tools that are available for you to create.
I love that. I absolutely love that. It's so true. In my book, Let's Be Clear, the very first chapter, very first page, I asked 3 questions. What is your dream? Why is your dream? So that's to determine, is that suitable for your life? Are you aligned in it? And how does it make you feel? Which is an indicator of, are you really aligned? And then I have a process through it. So that is spot on. So necessary, and it will save people a lot of life force time. And that's huge, because once it's gone, it's gone. Somebody just raised their hand a little bit. Oh, I almost lost you guys. Oh, I better not touch anything here. It's like, okay. Gita?
Yeah, I would just like actually like agree with all of you, all the speakers here. And I feel this discussion and it just how it went ahead, it actually have hundreds of nuggets, I would say. And from my side, I would just add like take a pause. Means this is like a word which I would like to share. Take a pause, listen to your body, follow your intuition and act on your intuition. Don't take your intuition, like, don't underestimate it. So you need to follow it also and act on it. And it's going to change the whole, like this, the life which is given, everything is going to change once you start doing it.
I love that. And you can cultivate your intuition. And a lot of people don't know that, but you can. Jenny.
I felt inspired to follow up after Geeta because I actually had a profound realization as she was speaking after we talked about, well, there was also the year of the snake and, stepping into inquiry, and I had a little swirly epiphany. And Geeta, I'm in the middle of some treatments that are putting me into a menopause-like state. And so, I love the mindset, right? It really is feeding into what we all have been talking about tonight, which is what I'll go back to mine. The brave thinking concept is instead of I need to see it to believe it, which is kind of more of a common hour way of looking at things, to I believe it, and that belief helps me to see it. The epiphany, as Geeta was talking, was this notion of I think we were very socialized to this time of life, and as you were saying, women, or Karina, you were talking about, we're built as women to generate. There's a lot going on besides just the physical symptoms, et cetera, right? It's very easily. So that just brought me to here we are at the beginning of 2025. It's a very powerful year of the snake, shedding the skin. And, and this idea that there's just been hundreds of tools. Geeta's right. There's so many insights, but this notion of being able to pause and really stay in gratitude and to, really think about what's the gift here? What is the thing that there is to learn here, no matter what's going on, right? And then really looking at, this is a great opportunity for transformations. I don't have a lot of coherent thoughts, but I think it's just so beautiful how even there's so many different people coming from so many different perspectives all over the world that we all are, so as sorry, I'm getting all my names. Nicola was saying, we're all really there is this integration, right? And several people spoke to us as well. So it's we are one tribe at the end of the day.
We are one tribe.
Thank you, Karina, for all you've done to create this tribe.
Believe me, it is my honor. And just so you know, I'm never alone with when these things come together, or even while we're here, because spirit is always with us. And so spirit helps bring all this together, helps us go through challenges, and sees them where the opportunities are within those challenges. So I am very blessed. Very strange sometimes, but very blessed.
It's a strange
Roger?
blessing.
Yes, definitely. I'm so fortunate. I really am. Roger?
Yes, everything everyone's been saying, excuse me, is I'm thinking I'm going through listening to through the filter of aging.
Okay.
And it's just so exciting because we who are seniors are for unlike other times of life we're really present to our mortality. And so positivity isn't airy-fairy thing. It's really if when it's grounded inside what's real, our own death, not in a morbid way or anything, but it is grounded in mortality. It gives us that's the I think that is the spark for transformation. And and I want to remember that always with when I'm working with our seniors. it's our superpower.
There you go. It's true. When you embrace that, it is very true. The amazing wisdom that has come through all our trials and tribulations and blessings and amazing things. Without a doubt, it brings together this awakening within all of us. But what we're trying to help do for all of you out there is to shorten that time through, because there are a lot of things that if we had other different types of mentors of the difficult aspects that we went through, we would be able to quantumly transform. And as the veils are lifting, which they are because the energy is shifting, this is happening faster and faster. And so part of the speed, okay, there is a science to spirituality, because anything beyond yourself is in the spiritual realm. That's my belief system. That's what I've been in my whole life. That's what I get to see. And I even have angel wings from a visitation that I got to do and make because of all this. So my reality is what I can share. And so I want to share that you aren't alone even when you feel alone, and that there is an immense wisdom that comes with every single thing that happens to us, good, bad, or indifferent. And when we embrace it, Roger, you are so right. It is a friggin' superpower. We just have to get over ourselves. Arnie, we didn't hear from you.
Well, and I'm very grateful for all the amazing and deep wisdom that's been shared here. What I'd like to share is kind of at the other end of the telescope on this.
Great.
And that is, well, a number of years ago, there was a book, a relationship book published called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. And in my opinion, they're 100% wrong. Because in intimate relationships, it's the small stuff that creates the problems. For example, before I got married, I didn't realize there was a wrong way to put the milk back in the refrigerator. So, and when you're close, when you're in that intimate relationship, all of these little things, like is the toilet seat up or down, is there hair on the, and all of these little things are all like paper cuts in the relationship. And a solution to that is a word, a beautiful word that I learned called memnoon. And memnoon is an Arabic word. And what it means is if my spouse asks me to do something, then the attitude of memnoon is that I am now in her debt for the gift of being able to do something for her. And if we can take that attitude to everything that we do, regardless of how we feel in the moment, and where I apply that, it's like, well, I make coffee in the morning. It used to be when I was mad at my wife, I would make myself a cup, but I wouldn't make her a cup. And when she would come out and not see a cup of coffee, she knew I was mad at her. Now, even if I am mad at her, I always make her a cup of coffee. And that's my memnoon, because it's my gift to give her, even if I'm kind of pissed in the moment. So it's these little things that make the difference, whether they go positive or negative.
That's fantastic. That is so true. That is so true. And it is the little things that create love and trust, not the big grandstand things. So absolutely. But I love that, Arnie. You get pissed. You still present the gift here for you. I love it. Liz, did we hear from you yet? We didn't hear from you yet.
No, not yet. And I'm really glad to go after Arnie because you really got like my whole world shifting on that idea, like that whole flip upside down. It's not just for relationships, it's for like, I mean, of course, I'm thinking of my kids first, but it's for so many things in this world, you know, to be that, you know, that it's my gift to be able to. But the theme that I was thinking, actually, this may go along with what I sort of saw as one of the great themes tonight, which is that idea that, you know, I think in our own way, each of us is trying to help people like become more expansive. Many who of them have like these really like big ideas of how they want to be out in the world, right? And that we all sort of have this message of like looking inward and going inward is really like the place to start. You know, if we want that, whether it's the better relationship, whether it's the flow of the business or, you know, being, you know, seen and recognized in a certain way, it comes down to going back inside first. You know, I thought that was really neat that everybody said that in one way or another this evening. So
Thank you, Liz. And Colleen.
Yes, absolutely. So, well, this can encompass, you know, any aspect, but I like to start my days with this, especially because there's a lot of tech usually involved in my days. So I just have an intentional phrase that I will leave you with, and that is, let all that I do and all that I move through be done in the energy of love.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
that is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
And I would love to leave the audience and all of you first gratitude for even being here and wanting to share your wisdom and wanting to receive the wisdom, because all of us too learn from one another no matter what. And those that are watching us and viewing us from YouTube, they're willing to allow a different perception to come in to enhance their life. And as that happens, it enhances everybody's life. When we talk about going in first, as I'm a graduate gemologist as well from GIA. Okay, so you're looking in the microscope, and believe it or not, I had an epiphany then about how going inward opens the doorway to everything outside. When you go into a gem and see all the way the inclusions are, believe it or not, you can see the entire cosmos. And in one of my logos where you see my white cub, my winged white cub in that beautiful background of the cosmos, that's actually an image of a diamond inclusion inside a sapphire.
Mm.
And that has been one of my logos since the 80s. So yes, there are gems. The more you go inside and take that pause and become quiet, as you connect to yourself, as you start to breathe with intention and create that communication with your physical body, you start to feel and hear yourself. You do quiet your mind. So now you're the one steering the ship instead of being run into the ground. And you can start to feel who you really are and get clear of what steps that you might want to take. And remember this, everything is an adventure. It's an experiment. It is to be enjoyed and embraced. And so we leave that all with you. And in the chat, and I promised, I have the link for our gratitude bundle. And if you should have any issue with the link, because we are switching over systems, and I will apologize ahead of time if something goes sideways, it's tech. This is Colleen's email. You can email her or you can email myself if there's an issue. Within that bundle, as I said in the beginning, you have all the speakers' contact information there. And you have a lovely gift from all of them there. Please enjoy. Please allow it to empower you. Please connect to any of these speakers that have moved you. We would love to see you again. Comment and come and visit us all whenever you can. We all have different forms of workshops to help you. We have books. We have challenges. We have programs. We have one-on-ones. We have free materials. Our goal is to help empower you to a better life. And if there is any way any of us can help you, we are here for you. So I'm going to leave you with blessings, health, prosperity, and so much love. And we bid you all a beautiful evening. Good night.